Hey guys, it's Clone305, and today I'm back with another video. And of course, this is my custom LEGO Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi minifigure showcase video. And I am so excited to be showing you guys these figures, and I'm so excited to go see the movie. It's been a long 2 years from The Force Awakens waiting for this movie. This is gonna be a really good movie. And yeah, so originally there was gonna be 14 figures. There's only 12 now, because I will explain later on in the video with my Rey figure. A Bricklink seller messed up my address, so an order that I had coming did not come on time, so those figures could not be in this video. But I do have 12 figures, of course, these ones. I have Luke Skywalker, BB-8, Rey, General Leia, Rose Tico, Finn, Captain Poe Dameron, Chewbacca, General Hux, Kylo Ren, Captain Phasma, and a First Order Executioner Trooper. So, let's just get on into the video. Let's get started. So the first figure I have for you guys is Luke Skywalker in his Episode 8 version, of course. And this figure was actually pretty simple, except for that cape. That was pretty hard. But other than that, it was a really simple figure. And I'm just gonna really quickly get this out of the way. This is LM9 or Legomatic 9. His design for the Luke lightsaber. Let's see if this focuses. Probably not. But I used his design to make this just because it's very accurate and good. And I'm not sure if we're gonna be seeing that in Episode 8, or like Luke used that in Episode 8. But I really hope that he does, just for some cool scenes with him having his lightsaber. But this figure, so I used the Lego Ninjago movie, I think it was Lloyd's hair, for his hair. And I just went out and got one of the minifigures that had it, and then just painted it dark gray. And then, let's just take this off, you guys can see that. And then for the face, I just used this face. It was in a lot of sets, mainly from 2014. I think it was in like the Cantina and stuff. And then let's zoom in, just that way you guys can get a better view. But I sculpted the beard. Yeah, this doesn't really want to focus. Not sure why. Sorry about that, guys. But I sculpted the beard on. There you go. And then the cape. Actually, I should probably take this off, just because it's difficult to get the head off without ruining the beard. The cape is actually just a normal Lego cape, and then another Lego cape that I just cut up, and then like glued on like that. And then the torso was just a black body. I'm not going to show you the back because that didn't really work out. But was just a black body. And then I took a bunch of paper and I just like put that over the body. Like overlapped it. Like two rows of it or sets of it. Not sure what to call it. But you guys can see how there's a little bit of a bump right there. There's 2 layers of paper. And then I have this weird cardboard stuff for the belt. And I just took a basic pair of black legs, put a bunch of like brown weathering on it, and that's all over the figure. Yeah, not sure why my camera did not want to focus. But yeah, and then I just painted some brown boots. Let's see if I can get this on. And then here's the cape. And then the hands, I was going to go with a silver hand, like this. And actually, this is my Episode 7 Luke. I was originally going to use one of these heads and this hairpiece, but then I found this head, and then I remembered that this was an actual existing hairpiece, and I decided to go with that. Let's see. And now my camera wants to focus. Wow. Not sure why it didn't want to before. Hopefully for the rest of this video it does focus. It probably won't though, because it hates me. But let's get on to the next figure. So the next figure I have for you guys is Rey in her Episode 8 version, of course. And this figure is definitely my favorite out of all of the figures in this entire showcase. This is just probably one of my best works, like, ever. Just I really like this figure. And actually, I thought this video was not going to be able to come out today because I was waiting for the actual official minifigure, so that way I could get her head and hairpiece. And the seller that I bought that figure from on Bricklink messed up my address, so I was lucky enough to have it come yesterday, the 14th, and yeah, so that was really lucky. Originally, C-3PO and R2-D2 were supposed to be in this showcase, but because that package came so late, I couldn't make them. But, on to Rey. So, I'm just really quickly going to show you guys my Episode 7 Rey that I made like 2 years ago. This was one of my first figures, and I have made such an improvement in my painting job. Yeah. So, for the lightsaber, it is LM9 or Legomatic 9's design again, just because he does really good lightsaber designs. I really do like this one. There is supposed to be a bit of gold and black around like the top area. I just didn't put it on because I was working on the actual figure. So, putting her hand down, these were just a basic pair of tan arms and then normal flesh hands. Then I just painted all of the details that you guys can see. The lines are a bit thicker than I wanted, the dark tan ones, but that's okay. And then I do have her, like her little gauntlet type thing painted on right there. And then it also does go on to the actual hand. And then on the torso, this started off as a dark brown torso. But what I did is I took paper, and then I just completely, like, every little bit of gray on this torso is paper. And then I used the same cardboard stuff that I used on Luke for her belt, and that looks pretty good. And then on the back didn't turn out as well as I hoped it would. But there's the back. I kind of messed up right there because I had to extend the brown on the body with some more paper, and it just didn't work out well. And then I'm just going to try and take the figure off. Might have to do this off camera. There you go. So these were just a basic pair of plain dark bluish gray legs, and then a dark brown hip piece, and then I painted boots, and then that little bit over around her leg. Oh, sorry guys, excuse me. And then there's the paper, you guys can see, and then she does have a holster for her gun that she got from Han Solo in Episode 7, but I don't have that gun, and I didn't really have that great of a view of what that actually looks like in the movie, so I just used that same cardboard stuff there. Let's just try and get this on without bending it. I might have to cover this in glue just so that way it doesn't bend very much. Let's just put the lightsaber on. And yeah, I am really looking forward to seeing Rey in this in Episode 8. And this is definitely my favorite figure, probably of all time right now. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this part, and on to the next figure. The next figure is BB-8, and just right before I actually start showing you guys this, in the beginning of this video, like in the intro, you guys might have seen that he had an antenna, but that just broke off. Like, I was about to hit the record button, and it broke off. So I'm going to have to make him a new one, but I wasn't going to make him a new one right now, just because I need to get this video recorded and done. But you guys saw what it looked like with the antenna in the beginning of the video. So yeah. So, the back of the head does not look very good because the antenna broke off. But yeah. So, all of the little black details on this figure, I painted. Very time consuming. And then you guys can't really tell with the lighting, but all those dots are actually dark gray. So I'm just gonna zoom in and focus. Hopefully this is gonna focus. Please focus. Oh, it's not gonna. Maybe I have to zoom out a bit. Yeah, my phone does not like to focus, and that's actually what I use to record. But yeah, so on the figure, for his little eye, I guess you can call it. I don't think that's actually what it's called, but I'm just going to call it that because I forget the actual name. But I used one of the little grass slash flower stem pieces. Let's see if I have one on my desk right there. No, I actually don't. But I used one of those, and I just glued it on top of the eye and then painted it black, just so that way it could look a little bit better. And then I just outlined the eye in black, because originally that was silver. And I added all these little black details around the head. That's where the antenna was. And then you guys also can see, it's pretty obvious, I cut the top and bottom stud off of him, just that way he would look better. Or it doesn't really have a gender, it's a droid. But I cut those off of it, and then sorry about that, guys, that background noise. But so yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, really excited to see what he does in the movie, and let's get on to the next figure. So next up we have Finn, and this is actually a pretty simple figure, but it's one of my favorites just because of the details and how clean the back of the torso looks, and I'll get onto that in a minute. But I'm just really quickly, like I did with Rey, going to show you guys my Force Awakens version from 2 years ago. It looks pretty bad. The jacket looks horrible. And I actually used the head and hair off of this figure, though. So yeah. So I'm going to start with the legs, just because those are kind of hard to see. And I don't want to have the figure in my hand the whole time. So these are actually just like the basic legs from the official set. I think it's like the transport pod or something. And then I just continued the brown line all the way around the leg, and then painted some brown boots. I probably should have painted the belt all the way around the hip piece, but you weren't going to see it because the torso, or not the torso, the jacket is covering it. So the jacket is made out of paper, and then I took a normal tan torso and just painted some details onto it. The arms, I just put that design on the arms. Not sure what it exactly is. It's just a thing that's on the arms. It's also on Poe in his flight suit, and a bunch of other characters from like Rogue One and stuff. But yeah, so I just painted all the details that were on the official figure, and this is actually all that's left of the official figure. I used the arms and legs. And then going on the back, which is my favorite part, I painted all of that, because, of course, LEGO doesn't make official jackets, which they really should, but they don't. I'm really proud of that. It's probably some of my cleanest paint job, aside from Rey. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this Finn figure. Pretty straightforward, very simple. And yeah, if you guys were wondering what the face is, it's from like it's one of the Imperial Technician guys from like the Battle Pack from, I think, a year or two ago, not sure. But on to the next figure. So next up is Poe in his outfit from Episode 8, obviously. And I was going to originally make his just pilot suit, but I wanted to make this version just because everyone had already made a pilot suit version for Episode 7, and I just wanted to make this version instead of the pilot version. I still might make the pilot version, just depending on how much time he spends in that outfit in the movie. But yeah, so I also forgot to mention this with Finn. Finn and Poe don't actually have custom weapons. I just gave them like their basic LEGO weapons, just because I did not have enough time to make all of these figures and weapons for every single one of them. There's a little mark on his head. But yeah, so this figure, pretty much like Finn, is very straightforward, very simple, just a bunch of basic lines and details. Yeah, I sculpted the holster on the side of the leg, if I can move the arm up. So yeah, and then I painted a bunch of pockets on the legs just because there wasn't much reference for his legs. And then the jacket is paper. This definitely is not the best jacket. I'm probably going to go back and redo it because it should probably go about to there, to like that little line, but it doesn't. So yeah, and then there is a Resistance / Rebel logo. It's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, and then of course this is just like the Superman hair, and then the normal Poe head. And then that little spot is really bothering me. Now it's gone. But yeah, so I will eventually make weapons for Finn and Poe, but I'm not sure when. So let's get on to the next figure. Next up is General Leia, and this is actually another one of my favorite figures. And if you guys are wondering what this outfit is, you guys can kind of see my reflection. But if you guys are wondering what this outfit is from, I almost said outlet. But if you guys are wondering what it's from, as I repeat it for the third time, it's from, what's it called? It's like a magazine cover. It was with BB-8, Finn, Rose, and Poe, and then she was in another one. Actually, no. That was a separate one. I was using a picture that like combined all of that. There was a magazine cover and she was wearing this outfit, so she should be wearing it in the movie. If not, then I will probably have to go back and make the one that she was wearing in the trailer. But, so I ordered a, I think it was the First Order officer's, like, head from Kylo Ren's command shuttle. And then I just left that the same just because that looks pretty accurate to Carrie Fisher's face. And then, for the hair, I used, like, the Hoth Leia hair. And then I just painted it gray, and then just, like, put a bunch of tan all over it, and then wiped a bit of it off. And then it gave that cool effect. And then the arm I painted with this, like, gold bracelet that she has. And put a bit of the black detail that it has on it. And then she does actually have rings on a bunch of her fingers. Let's see if this arm will move. But she does actually have rings on a bunch of these fingers on her left hand. But I was not going to try and paint little details onto a hand that it was probably going to get scratched off of. So yeah, and then I'm actually going to try and take this off. This probably won't get put back together by the end of this segment. But for this weird looking like trench coat type thing, let's see if I can get the head off. There you go. But for this, I just took a bunch of paper, made a normal trench coat, made it go a little bit further in towards the body, and then when the paint was drying, I just quickly like pushed the two sides together, and then that made this thing. Not even sure what to call it. I guess coat. And then then I bent this little piece, so that way it would look like it was folded over. And then the actual figure is just blank body and dark brown body and legs, and then just with a bunch of with a bit of neck showing, just because it kind of looked weird if she didn't have neck. So I'm just gonna quickly try and stall as I put this back together. But I'm really looking forward to seeing Leia in The Last Jedi, and I think that they're probably going to end up killing her, just because Carrie Fisher has passed away, and they're probably not going to go with the CGI version of her that like they did with Tarkin and Rogue One. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing her again, and yeah, let's get on to the next figure. Painting Chewbacca was pretty simple, but making his bowcaster and extending his legs was not. So, I'm just really quickly going to go over his bowcaster. It was just a normal, what's it called? I forget what it's called. It's like a crossbow. Yeah, that's what it's called. But I pretty much, cut a ton of it apart, and then I sculpted these balls on it, and then glued them on, painted them in gunmetal. See if this will focus on the actual thing in my hand, not the background. Not really. But then I took the scopes off of two normal Lego guns, and then I sculpted a bit into the middle. And then I painted that all in gunmetal, and then, yeah. And then, so, Chewbacca. Like I said in the beginning, I extended his legs, and I'm just gonna grab a figure quickly. Here's just a stormtrooper. So that's how much taller he is than a normal figure. He's pretty tall. And then I'm just quickly gonna show you guys my other version, which is pretty bad. So yeah, So this was actually a keychain, so there was a hole in the top. So the body is just plain brown. Let's see if this will focus. Sorry about that, guys. I bumped the stand. Yeah, this probably doesn't want to focus, but whatever. So it has this weird thing from the keychain, but the actual legs, I did extend them using a 1x1 red trans clear or trans red bricks or plates. And then I like cut the toes off of the actual foot. You guys can kind of see the little bump right there. But I cut those off, and then I glued these on, filled in the little holes with some clay, and then I painted the legs from there down. I gave him some little gray toes, and I just painted little bits of fur all over him. I pretty much did the same thing for his arms, except I didn't give him little fingers, although I didn't really think about that until just now. So I might go back and add some fingers onto Chewbacca. But maybe not, because it might get rubbed off. And then I just repainted over all of Lego's print, because just that way it would match the arms and legs, and because it needs to go all the way down and around to the bottom part, and they pretty much only had it going to like there. So yeah, and then I repainted the like ammo thing, I forget what that's actually called, in my own silver, just that way it would be a bit brighter. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Chewbacca. Now I'm just quickly gonna try and find his bowcaster and put it on him. I'm really looking forward to seeing Chewbacca back in action in this movie. That's apparently there's like a really good and like emotional scene between Chewbacca and Luke, like when they reunite, and I'm really excited to see that and just see him back in action, like I said. So let's get on to the next figure. For our final light side character, I have Rose, and this is actually my least favorite out of these figures that I painted, just because it doesn't look as good as I was hoping it would, and it just didn't turn out as well as I was hoping it would. But yeah, and that's kind of why it's last in this showcase for light side figures. But there's some pretty cool stuff on this figure. I did use that weird cardboard stuff that I've used on a bunch of other figures for her belt on the front. That did not turn out as well as I was hoping it would, like I said multiple times in the beginning of this part. So I didn't even bother trying to do it on the back, just that way I wouldn't ruin that nice print. But on the back, I did sculpt the hood. It didn't turn out as well as I hoped it would, but I did sculpt one. And then on her hair, I just put a little gray, like elastic band, I guess. Just because that would be holding her weird little ponytail thing. And then I gave her some brown, like boots or shoes. And then just quickly gonna take the head and hair off. The detail does go on the neck. And then I did forget to mention, for pretty much all of these figures up until now, the detail does go around their legs, all four sides, or most of the figures. So yeah, pretty basic figure. Really excited to see her character though in the movie. Brand new character, hopefully is a good character. Yeah. Let's get on to the dark side characters now. For our first dark side character in the showcase, I have Kylo Ren. And this figure was not that hard, actually. It was just very time consuming to make, because I painted everything except for the face, but the only thing on the face that I did paint is the scar. But I painted everything else, all of that, like checkered pattern, and this was just so time consuming. And then on the back, I didn't even bother to do it just because of how time consuming it was, because it was going to get covered by the cape. I just didn't bother doing it. But for the lightsaber, this is actually my own design, or I've seen lots of people use this, but I didn't use a design from Legomatic 9. But I did just cut off these off of like the spring-loaded shooters, the cross guard, And then I took one of the, it's like a lightsaber, but then it has like the 2 holes at the top on either side. And then I cut off the top of a lightsaber, glued that on, and then covered this area in clay. And then I tried to paint that little detail on. Let's see if this will focus. Focus, please. No, okay. But I tried to paint on that little detail. It didn't turn out that well. And then just a normal red lightsaber blade. So for Kylo Ren, I did sculpt that little area right there, like his belt buckle, I guess. And then, so I'm gonna take the cape off, just that way you guys can see the figure without the cape. And so I did all of that pattern all over the figure, all of the little lines. And then I used one of the clone waist capes. It's also on First Order Snowtroopers and Imperial Snowtrooper figures. And it's on the Shore Trooper, like Captain, I think. It's got a little fuzzy on it. Let's see if I can get that off, just because it's annoying. And then I'm actually going to try and pull it apart. Let's see if I can. Wow, this is actually really difficult. Got stuck. These are pretty new legs, and they're just plain black. I'm just going to put this on. The checkered pattern on the on this waist cape did not turn out as well as I was hoping it would. But that's okay. It still looks good enough to not have to be redone. And then this is actually the Kylo Ren face from the Battle on Takodana set from like last year. And then that scar, I did try and put a scar on this face, but it just didn't really work. And there's like some paint in the teeth and stuff. But yeah, so I'm just gonna put his lightsaber in his hand and not put the cape back on. I'm really looking forward to seeing his character. I said this for almost all the characters, but I am really looking forward to seeing pretty much all of these characters in action in this movie. Especially Kylo Ren, just because the emotional stuff between him and Leia will be pretty good, especially after he killed Han Solo. Spoilers for The Force Awakens, but why haven't you watched that yet if you're watching this video? But yeah, let's get on to the next Darkseid figure. For the next Darkseid character, I have General Hux, and this is actually a pretty simple character and figure. I meant to say figure, not character. But this is a pretty simple figure to make. Just a bunch of lines, pretty basic. The only difficult thing was actually the First Order insignia, which didn't turn out as well as I hoped it would, but that's okay. Sorry about the background noise. But I did just use, like, the Obi-Wan hairpiece from many sets in this dark orange, the official Hux head, and then I, of course, made his trench coat out of paper, just because I don't have actual cloth. And then I glued that little belt buckle on, and that belt buckle is that weird cardboard material that I've used on a bunch of the figures from this video. And then I used Death Star Trooper legs, just because those are good legs for plain, those are good, that's a good print for some plain legs. And then the arm, I just have a bunch of silver lines. And then the back is just a bunch more lines. Like I said, this figure is very simple. And I'm interested in seeing what he's going to be doing in this movie. I hope that he does a bit more than he did in the last movie, just because he had a very small part in Episode 7. But yeah, let's get on to the second last minifigure in this showcase. So for the last figure in the showcase, I have my third favorite figure out of all 12 in this showcase, and it is the First Order Executioner. And to start off, this figure was harder to do than Captain Phasma. Captain Phasma was pretty simple. It was just doing a bunch of pouches and just lines. But this figure was actually pretty hard because I had to do a bit of black detail, and black on white is not that easy to fix if you mess up. And then I also had to make his, like, staff thing, which didn't turn out too well. So yeah. So I'm just going to quickly show you guys this. It's like his axe type thing. I used some handcuffs, a broken lightsaber piece, and then a bar. and then I just painted it and put a bit of clay. This side looks pretty horrible. But yeah, so that's his executioner staff axe thing. I'm not sure if there's an actual name for that, like, in Star Wars. If you guys know what it is, please tell me in the comments. But don't put spoilers in case someone that hasn't seen the movie is watching this video and goes down to the comments. But yeah, so like I did with Captain Phasma, I just did arm details, except this time he has black shoulder pads with the First Order logo on it. Let's see if this will focus. If I zoom in a bit more. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. This one actually turned out a whole lot better than that one. That one just kind of looks like a circle with a dot. But yeah. And then on the back, there's actually nothing really there. And I forgot to say, this started like a normal stormtrooper. And then I sculpted the pouches. I probably should have sculpted them on the back of the figure just because this one isn't getting covered up by a cape. It was okay with Phasma, but this one probably should have it. I'm just going to zoom out again. But the helmet is probably my favorite part just because it actually looks really good. And as you guys can see, I just painted the black stripe. And then I also painted in the indent in the First Order helmet right there. So yeah. Yeah, and then this is the one figure other than Captain Phasma I forgot to mention that has hand details painted on it. So yeah, and then this is just a normal stormtrooper, clone trooper, angry head. So yeah, and then he also does have leg details. Forgot to mention that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing these guys, even if it is for like a minute or two in the movie. We have them coming out in a battle pack next year. That'll be pretty cool. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for this showcase video. Let's get into the outro and finish this video off. For the second last figure in this showcase, I have Captain Phasma. This figure was actually pretty simple. It's very similar to the First Order Executioner, which is actually going to be the next figure in the last one. But it's very similar to that one. It's pretty much just a basic stormtrooper with a bunch of silver and a cape. Sorry guys, just bumped my light. Now I gotta get it repositioned. But yeah, so let's just get on into this figure. So for her staff, I cut like a rod piece. Not sure what piece it was. I think it was actually one of the flick missile things. And then I took two of these like weird little like arrow type things and then glued them on. They're actually pretty tight. They will not come off easily. So yeah. So this light is actually pretty annoying. But then you can't see without it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this video might not be the best quality in some parts, just because I'm still not the best at making these videos. I am working on getting a better setup and stuff for making these videos. But for the helmet, I just, there's a like indent, or like in the mold on the helmet. So I just painted that black all the way around. And then for the head, I just took a Sabine Wren head from Star Wars Rebels, and then I painted the neck black. Yeah. So, and then for the cape, I just took the actual official cape and then repainted it in black because it kind of was like black and red mix, and it was like really light, and it looked kind of strange, so I just repainted it in my own black. And then I painted all of the arm detail and all of the side of the leg detail. And then the bottom of the legs, sorry about that, but the bottom of the legs, Lego doesn't print the knee pads all the way, which is really annoying. But I did paint the rest of the knee pads and then a bit of toe detail. And that goes all the way around on all four sides, or it should. It does on most of the figures. I guess I forgot about this one. But it usually would go around all four sides. Yeah, I keep forgetting to show that in these parts. But yeah, I will have to go back and put it all going around all 4 sides. But I also sculpted the pouches on the torso and belt piece. And yeah, so I'm just gonna quickly find her staff wherever I just put it. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Just put that on the figure to end out this part. And like I said in the Finn part of this showcase, when I was showing you guys Finn, I am really looking forward to seeing her, that like fight between her and Finn. That's gonna be a really awesome scene. And in my opinion, I think it should have been, like that scene should have been in The Force Awakens, like in the Battle of Takodana. That would have been so much better, but at least we're getting it now. Now let's get on to the final figure in this showcase. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I certainly enjoyed making all these figures. Please do tell me down in the comments which one of them is your favorite. My favorites, like I said in the video, are Rey, Finn, Leia, and the Executioner, just because I just really like those figures. But please don't put spoilers in the comments in case someone that does watch this video hasn't watched episode 8 and they go down in the comments and they see that spoiler. That would really suck. So yeah, please don't put any spoilers down in the comments. I am very serious about that. I got spoiled by someone doing that once, for, I think it was actually episode 7, but yeah, so I really hope that you guys enjoy the movie, and yeah, I am going to go see it at, 7:50 tonight. It is 4:10, I'm so excited, and yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the movie, I hope you guys enjoyed the figures, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.